Alright, class. So, I'm playing Fortnite. I'm going to try to teach you guys how to win a game of Fortnite. Um, there's a lot of intricacies in the game, and I'm going to try my best to cover all the basic stuff that you need to know, but there is a lot. But I'm pretty much going to focus on my mindset of what was going through my mind when I made these plays. So right now I'm looking around trying to find a good place to land where there won't be an enemy, so I can properly get my loot that I need, all my weaponry. So I pick this house, I see a shotgun. Shotguns are very, very important. You're going to see me hitting a lot of things with my axes because I need materials, which is what you use to build with whenever you get into fights. So there I pick up a slurp juice to get shield because you need extra shield. It helps you in battles to stay alive longer. I place that trap at the beginning of the fight just in case somebody were to walk in on me. They'll get hit by the trap and die. It's just a way to protect myself. So now basically what I'm doing is looting up, trying to find an assault rifle, which I just found. I found some extra shield. I can get myself to 100 shield, which is very important. And right there, that's a launch pad. That'll be used later on whenever I get into a fight. If it's not going well for me, I can just launch pad out of there and be safe for the next fight. So I turned into a pot, which only happens in this spot of the map right now. It's like a weird event that's going on right now. I didn't know this at the time of making this, and I thought it was really funny, so I decided to do it again. But yeah, I'm mostly working on trying to get materials because that's very, very important. And then I loot these chests because they have good weapons and things that you need to be successful. My main focus to teach you guys on how to win is going to be what mindset you have like in the middle of fights. And I want to teach you guys like it's okay to disengage if you're going to lose a fight, just to fight another day. So right now I see those guys fighting, so I thought I'm going to come up there and try to get in here and get the kill because those guys were fighting. So obviously at the end of the fight, they're both going to be, one of them's going to be weak, right? Since they're fighting somebody else. So I thought that's my opportunity to go up and take that fight. So I did, and I get the kill. So then I loot their bodies because they did a lot of looting for me. I see a guy down there. I have the high ground, so I'm way above him. So like, it's a lot harder for him to hit me than it is for me to hit him. So I hit him quite a bit, so I knew I had to make my move. So I flew over. And then I knew he was one shotgun shot away from dying, so I took the shot. I picked up another slurp juice just to hold on to for later, just in case I take some damage. It's very important to have healing on you because you're not always gonna come out of fights unscathed, obviously. And you don't want to set yourself up for failure later by not having healing. So now I pretty much have this whole place to myself. So I want to talk about this. This circle here is the safe zone. After this timer runs out in the corner, up here, the storm's going to start moving in and filling up the map. And the storm can actually hurt you if you're in it. But if you're in this circle, you're safe. And I knew at the time that I was safe in this circle. So I thought, well, I probably killed everybody that's here, so I'm going to just get as much loot as I possibly can. So I'm ready for the end of the game. I make a mental note that these shields are here just in case, because my inventory was full at the time. It's very important to be aware of everything that's going on in your game. Your inventory, everything. Materials. So again, I'm just hitting trees. I'm just trying to get as much as I can. There, I have max materials now. which will be good for me later. You'll also notice I won't really destroy trees fully because I don't want people to know where I'm at. Because people can see a tree being destroyed from pretty far away, so you don't want to attract too much attention to you. It's very important. So a lot of this is just me getting materials and finding different guns that might be better than what I have now. Because I was fortunate and I'm in the safe zone. I hear a chest in here, so I'm gonna go in and try to see if I can get something. Not quite. Trying to get more brick. There's 3 different types of materials. There's wood, brick, and iron. And you can get 999 of each. And I already have my 999 wood, so I was working on trying to get some more brick and metal because they're stronger than wood. Which makes sense. Now, a lot of people want to just get in the action. They want to constantly fight. Me, however, I'm trying to win the game for you guys so I can make the speech, you know. So I thought I was going to take it a little bit easier, kind of focus on just trying to get to the end game. So right here, these are rifts. Those blue things in the sky are rifts. Basically, whenever you go into them, it like sprouts you up into the air, and then you can fly pretty far distance. So I figured once the zone was closing and closed, I was going to take it and fly somewhere else into this next safe zone. That was my plan at the time. Again, just working on getting some extra materials. You can see the safe zones closing in, as I brought up earlier. And there's about 7 seconds left. You can see in the top left, or top right. And you can see there's 20 people left in the game. So we've already survived 79 other competitors. Alright, so the next zone, I'm actually already in it. But I decided, well, I'm not going to waste these rifts. I'm just going to take them, you know. Maybe I'll try to go somewhere different. Try to find high ground. The goal is to always be as high up as you can because that gives you a statistical advantage on any fight that you're going to be in later. So I decided to land on this mountain here. Just because it was probably one of the highest points in the safe zone. So, yep, there we are. And again, I'm getting brick, I'm getting metal, I'm getting as much as I can to set myself up for success later. And now I didn't want to be vulnerable, so I decided to build myself a nice little tower so people couldn't shoot me. So the next 10 minutes or so is, well, not 10 minutes, I'd say 5 minutes. The next 5 minutes is pretty boring. I'm looking around for people, just anything that I can see to help me out. So I built a cone over my head. Whenever you go to edit this cone, you can actually see around you. I know you guys can't see it, but like whenever you're in the editing mode, you can actually see through that cone, so nobody can shoot you while you look. So I decided to build up another layer because it never hurts to be higher. I see that blue crate over here. Okay, oh, well maybe. I'll explain that in a minute because I knew that I looked at that blue crate. That blue crate right there. I'm using it as bait because I know people are gonna want to try to use it to get the items that are within it because they're usually really good. So I kept a mental note to always look over there every once in a while because I know somebody's gonna go try to use it, and I'm gonna shoot at them once they do, just to crack some shots at them. And then again, it's pretty quiet. You just have to just kind of sit there, take your time. Like, being patient is very, very important when it comes to this game. You want to be very, very patient. Uh, you don't want to rush in right away and then get double teamed or triple teamed by somebody just because you were impatient. Like, that's not how you win the game. Like, patience is a virtue, but it really does pay off in this game. And I'm just warming up my editing there and just trying to make sure I'm ready. I'm just shooting over that way. I was getting pretty bored, I'm not gonna lie. So again, we see another crate that's about to drop in that spot. So I thought, well, we're pretty much surrounded by a bunch of loot that I could use as bait. So I shot it down to make it come down faster, as you'll see. Yep, there it is. Oh, and then somebody came over to that crate like I had suspected. So I shot him once in the head for 41 damage. And the max amount of health somebody can have is 200. Just a mental note. Sometimes you have to do a lot of math when you play Fortnite. Subtract how much health you've taken from them so you know what kind of health they have left whenever you go to engage them. So the next zone, I wasn't in it, so I had to try to rotate over there. And whenever you're going to rotate, try to go the safest route you possibly can without taking damage. Obviously, you don't want to take any damage. You want to be as safe as you possibly can. It's very, very important. So again, I turned into that sign by accident, but I just I just kind of kept with it. So again, I'm getting more materials. It's very important, just getting materials. Like, it is seriously the most important part of the game. It's what makes this game different from every other shooter game. Like, you can build. Like, it's completely different. So I decided I'm gonna go and get this crate because nobody seemed to care about it before. I turned into a lawn chair, which I didn't mean to do either, but I figured it might keep me safe while I'm looting anyway. So I decided to take this sniper rifle and then turn into a picnic table. So I decided to take a couple crack shots at these people. It never hurts to take a shot if you have a bunch of ammo, which at the time I had about 40 ammo. So I thought, well, that's enough ammo to take some shots. You might get lucky, you might get a kill out of it. Try to utilize everything that you have in your inventory because, I mean, that's what it's there for, you know. Always incorporate that into your mind game of what you're going to be doing in your next engagement. What are you going to use? What can you use? It's very, very important to just be mentally prepared. I decided to use one of my launch pads because I have 2 of them now. And I see that guy shooting at me, so I had to get out of there real fast. It was not a safe way to go. You see, it's okay to disengage. There's no reason for me to go into that guy and just get sprayed down. There's no reason. So I just go the other way. So I see someone's building over there, so I know that I can't really stand out in the open too much, or he might start shooting at me too. I'm working on getting more brick, obviously. It's very, very important. I see him building up. I decided to take a shot. Now there's 2 people fighting there, I see. So I realize they're probably not paying much attention to me. I see that guy flying over, but he can't shoot at me because he's behind that rock quarry, so he can't see me. I try to shoot that guy just because he's looking the other way, but I missed the shot, of course. So again, I work on getting more brick. I'm just trying to get myself ready for the end game because there are 7 people left in the game, including myself. So I know that the end is coming. I'm waiting for him to break that rock to shoot him, but I shot too early. So I wound up hitting the rock and not him. So I break that rock, get more mats. And he's trying to shoot at me, so I just keep rebuilding. And I try to take a shot once I reload. Pretty much just building a tower, trying to keep myself in defense mode. There, I hit that guy. He left himself vulnerable. So then that stops him from shooting at my base, trying to destroy it, because now he's too preoccupied. And then I decided I'm going to rush him. And then I also decided, oh, never mind. I think it's a bad idea at the time. So, you see the smoke coming from his base over there. That is a campfire he placed, which is actually giving him health to regenerate his health. So I keep that as a mental note that he's not weak anymore. So I'm not going to really rush him. I killed that guy who was trying to rush the guy I just shot. So that was a great kill. I was pretty pumped about that. But it's very important to take I didn't spare any shots. I just took as many shots as I possibly could because you might get lucky like I did. It's very important. And now my replay mode was kind of getting funky. And now I'm sliding around everywhere, which I don't understand why. But that's okay. It doesn't take away from what we're learning. I placed 2 traps in here in case somebody tries to fly into my base, because then they'll just get hit by my traps and die. It's very important to keep your... Always think about any possible scenario that could happen to you. Always. Because it might pay off in the end. So now the storm's closing. I thought that guy was over there still. So I figured that storm was going to push him out of his base. So I kept looking that way. And I know that there's people over here as well. So I block that side so that guy to the right can't shoot me. And I'm trying to focus this side mostly. I decided to move that tree out of my way just so I can have more vision as to what's going on. But I'm pretty much trying to stay hidden. I don't want to stand out in the open too much because that can get you sniped. And you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. So I hear somebody running at me on my right side. It's the guy from the right. He's decided to get right under me. So I pretty much focused him, which kind of left me vulnerable to the people to my left, and I didn't think about that too much. So then I placed a wall. Oh, I didn't place enough walls. So I had to obviously correct that mistake on my part. And then I healed up with some heals. And then I went back to focusing on this guy mostly, because I thought he'd be an easy kill because he's way below me. I have the high ground. I have a bunch of ammo at this point too, just from looting, so I knew I could waste some shots. It didn't matter. If I break his stuff, he's going to run out of materials. That was my thought, that he's going to run out of materials if I keep shooting his stuff down. And then that'll help me later on, if I have to fight him later. At this point, there are 2 other people left in the game. So there's the guy below me, and there's a guy to my left. And I know that mentally, so... I see that he's trying to shuffle this way towards that other guy, which is fine. If those 2 fight each other, that's fine. That just means it'll leave me with one other person who is weak, which is pretty much what I want to happen in a perfect world. It helps me win the match. This guy tries to engage me, which I wasn't ready for, but I shot him. And then I built myself up into the sky. And then he killed himself with his own rocket launcher. But he also hurt me quite a bit in the process. So I just try to build over this guy, so he can't come up and get me. I want the high ground. The high ground is so important. I take a slurp juice. And this is a 1v1 for the win, just to put it into perspective. So I thought this guy was flying above me, but he actually just flew across the map, because I'm trying to get into the zone. I'm just making a giant platform so he can't shoot me down. try to take a shot at him. I was so mad at myself for missing that shot, I'm not gonna lie. I can't believe I missed that. That was unreal. But I'm pretty much in a good spot. I'm just chilling out, trying to stay above him. I'm trying to move with the zone. The zone's moving very slowly at this point. Just, it's getting really small. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my heart was pounding. Like, really bad at this point. I was trying to get a win all day long so I could make the speech. But I'm just taking my time. I'm not rushing things. I'm not going to go push this guy. Even though he's the last one, I don't want to make an error. I just want to put myself in the best possible position to win. That's always the most important part. So I notice he's shooting and not at me. He's actually trying to destroy my base to bring me down. So I thought I'd hurry up and flood down so I don't take any fall damage. And then I started rebuilding my platform above him again to keep my high ground. It's very important to keep your high ground. I decide I'm going to try to get back up to my platform I made earlier because it stayed up in the air because I saved it. And I'm just pretty much reinforcing it. I'm running out of materials, which I wasn't paying attention to really at the time. I thought I was going to have enough. So it put me in a weird spot. So I decided to bring it down a layer because I know I'm going to have to push this guy at some point because eventually the zone's just going to completely close and it's going to be a who has more health fight, and I didn't want it to come to that because I'm not that lucky. He brought me down, so I had to shoot the ground with that to not take fall damage. And I just build my platform again. It's rinse and repeat. But then I run out of materials here. I'm pretty sure this is right around this position is where I run out of materials. It's close to here. Eventually I run out of materials. I'm 100% sure of that. I remember. Yeah, I think right here. Yeah. So now I don't have materials. I can't rebuild that. He drops me down, so I thought I'm gonna go for broke. I shotgun him once, I shotgun him twice, and I win the game. And I do a little dance because I'm excited about it. And I hold up my trophy. That is how you win a game of Fortnite. That is my mental game. That is what I'm thinking about every single time I'm in a game. There's a lot of thought processes you have to think of. You got to keep yourself always prepared, physically and mentally. You got to have all the materials you need and everything. There's a lot that goes into this game, and the biggest thing is to just practice, practice, practice. You're not going to be great overnight. You got to practice. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned at least a little bit of something about Fortnite today. Peace.